I'm going to tell you a story to illustrate a point now, okay? I think that everybody at some time, periodically, should get out of their comfort zone. I know people always say you should always act within your comfort zone. But to really grow as a business and as a person, periodically you should step out of it. And you're stepping out of your comfort zone to ask for very bold things. And it's the kind of thing where you ask for, and I'm going to give you a story to illustrate it, but when after you ask for, and all your friends will say, you crazy? Like many people say to me, you crazy writing a publisher and you think anything will happen? Yeah, I'm crazy. What have you got to lose? Okay? And so you don't want to do it. And one of the things holding you back is fear of failure. We were talking about that before somewhere here. Fear of failure. And there's two kind of fears in a company and risks. There's fear of failure for the company, that you got to worry about. And the other one is purely ego. Someone will turn me down, and you take it personal. I see that all the time. It's not to be personal. You can't sell everybody you call on. You'll get turned down, or anything. The bank will turn you down. It's not personal. It's really not personal. And you got to get all those ego things out of the way so you can ask for bold things. Now, to get bold things, to get people to give you these things, particularly people you don't know, you need knowledge. Because knowledge, you want knowledge of the person you're trying to sell, their company, their industry, the environment you're operating in, any rules or laws that affect them, what their problems are, so you can solve them. As much as you know is going to help you. And the knowledge is going to give you the ability to give them something of value, so they'll give you your bold request. And I call asking for it, I call it just ask. And I'll tell you a personal story to try to illustrate the point. When we were in the game business at one time, I decided we were going to design a line of magic. I loved magic. And there were indications of the marketplace because I got the bestseller list from one of the big bookstores in New York, the top 50, not the top 10 like in the New York Times. And I looked at it every week, and then all of a sudden I started seeing magic books. And then Doug Henning was coming to Broadway, a one-person magic show, and it was being written up in all the magazines. Time gave a feature. So this is a perfect time. I like magic because it's for kids and it's for adults, both. Okay? And then I looked quickly at the market. Where do you buy magic? And every town had a magic store. But like in New York, the magic store in New York was named Tannen's, and all the magicians knew to go there, but you wouldn't know. It was on Broadway in the 40s on the 32nd floor. I mean, even the tallest giraffe couldn't see that store. So nobody knew where they were. And then when you looked at the magic, to buy a magic trick, they had skilled magicians in the store selling. So they demonstrated a trick and said, oh, that's a great trick. Here, buy this. And it's in a poly bag. You can see what the thing is inside, and horrible instructions. So it looked like, and not dominated by anyone. So we figured this is a good thing. So how do I do it? So first thing I did, I figured I'll go to magic school because it's easier for me to learn magic than get a magician to learn marketing. And so it was the most fun. I had some friends of mine. We went one night a week to this a magician called George Schindler was teaching, and it was the most fun. So I hired George to help me put the line together. And we gave him certain criteria. No tricks that require sleight of hand, because that's what the market, the magic stores sold some tricks with sleight of hand, which could take you forever to accomplish. We wanted you to be able to do the trick and fool people in 15 minutes. So he came into our office every afternoon. He demonstrated tricks. I said, don't tell me how it's done. I just want to see how the effect. If it was a wow kind of effect, then I'm interested. Then show me what it is and what do I have to make. And so if the economics and everything were there, we went ahead with the trick. And I was going to make a big deal about it. So we came up with 24 individual tricks, all in 4-color packaging. You couldn't see what was inside, but the outside picture was the effect of the trick. And then we put a little line on the bottom that the purchaser hereby agrees never to withhold the secrets of this trick. It was a cute thing, and kids swore by it, by the way. When kids bought the trick, you couldn't get it out of them. The package says, I can't tell. So So then we did a big marketing thing. We were very successful, very high margins. And so the first year was very successful, and I go into the penny buyer to work next year's line, and he says, magic. He looks on his figures. We had magic in his catalog and in his stores. He says, I want to do a big program on magic this year. Oh, good. That's good news for me. He says, I want you to put a magician to demonstrate in every store. I'm looking at it. I said, well, does that mean if I know your normal way of working, you're asking me to pay for them? He said, of course. I said, well, I declined to become poor, so I wasn't going to do it. And he was persistent, and he kept after me, and after me, and after me. So I finally thought what George Schindler was. I got very friendly with George because we spent a lot of time together, and I learned about the magic community through him. And I remembered, now this is some of my knowledge about the industry, till leading up to my big ask. I knew that magicians, number one, were motivated by two things: applause and recognition. And there were very few magicians in the country who made money at it. They might do weddings and things like that, as trade shows. They make some money, but you couldn't make a big living doing it. So I knew that. And I also knew, which I didn't know before, there's a thing in this country every year in October called National Magic Week. They celebrate it for a week. And it commemorates the death of Harry Houdini. And they have a caravan of cars from his cemetery in Long Island on the Long Island Expressway, and that's their marketing. So nobody knows it exists. And then all the magicians that week, they go to hospitals and nursing homes and everything and do magic for free to perpetuate the art of magic. That's what they're after. So I called George. I knew there's 10,000 magicians in the country, and you have to have a certain skill level to join the Magician Society. So I said, George, can you get me an appointment with the president of the society? He said, sure. So he gets me an appointment. I go in and tell the guy, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like you to give me magicians in all the cities where Penny is, which is most major cities. And during National Magic Week, they will perform in Penny for no pay. But what I will do is I'll have Penny run an ad that so-and-so is performing in these stores at these hours. I will put the magician's name and his picture. I'm appealing to the ego of the magicians. So he tells me, it's an interesting idea, but I can't commit for the magicians in the country, but we have a convention in Miami Beach every February, beginning of February. If you'd like, you can address the convention. Sold. Okay, so I said, okay, I got a chance to pitch myself. So I then tell the buyer about it. I said, now you got to pay for the ads. I'm going to get you the magicians on the condition. So he liked, he's going to get free magicians, of course. And he says, I don't know if I have enough budget to do this. I said, okay, what time is it? Let's go over to the head of publicity for JCPenney, who we didn't know, but I know. I knew more about Penny than the young buyers all the time because I've been dealing with so many things. They have a whole publicity department. And if you can get them interested, they have their own budget. So I go with the buyer and I go to the publicity guy and I tell him what I want to do. And I said, I envision the ad would be the Society of American Magicians and JCPenney celebrate National Magic Week. That's the headline of the ads in all the cities, with the dates of the store and the dates and the picture. So he likes the idea. So I like to look into this more. So I tell him, well, I'm going to pitch. I don't have it yet. I have to pitch the convention. I said, why don't you join me and come to the convention? So now Penny's in New York. It's winter time. And the convention's in Florida, sunshine. I don't know if that influenced his decision, but he immediately says, I'm gone. So the two of us go down. I talk to the society. I tell them 5 times I can't pay. And I said, we have a desk in the lobby. It was the Fontainebleau Hotel. Anybody interested after the session will be in there and you can sign up. The end result was when the session was over, they were online throughout, winding lines throughout the lobby, everybody signing up to do this thing. So that was my big ask, to ask somebody, give me free magicians all over the country. And they did it, and everybody came out. The magicians were thrilled with it. The society loved it because we got more publicity in 1 year than they got in their whole life. Ads all over the country celebrating National Magic Week. The magicians got a big kick out of it. In their hometown, half the people didn't know they were magicians, and now they got a picture they could show their kids and their family. Oh my God, they were thrilled. And we were in great shape. We satisfied our penny buyer. He loved us, and it gave us a chance to get involved with top management at Penny. So it was a win-win-win. So that's what I mean by just ask. Okay, get over the ego problem and fear of failure that someone will turn you down. They do, they do. And if you do get turned down, you're learning more for the next big just ask. And I do this just ask thing for an entrepreneurial group in Canada. I do like 6, 7 stories just like this, where we ask for a gigantic ask, what some people would tell me is a gigantic, not to me, but if you have some knowledge of all the parties and what their emotional points are, you can get so much done.